So here's some numbers. So this is from, I guess, the most recent numbers.
Yep.
Okay. So just to give you an idea, and this is the behind the scenes number, by the way. This is like behind the scenes numbers. But as my student, I'm sharing this with you, right? We don't share this with other people, this confidential info. But I want to take you behind the scenes and share with you some of the things we're working on. So what does this mean? So this is, where do we get these analytics?
So we get these analytics through the YouTube app, and it's YouTube Studio.
YouTube, you can download the YouTube Studio. It's free, right? Connect with a YouTube account, and you'll be able to see these statistics, right? So how does someone read these statistics?
Sure. So on the top, you'll see that the real-time views that all the videos are getting throughout your channel, you'll see right on the top. So this is how you can measure kind of how the velocity is going for your channel overall, day by day. We look at these statistics daily. I mean, I'm probably every 3 hours.
Yeah, a few hours, right? So in the last 48 hours, we have about 490,000 views, right? And then for the watch time, in the last 28 days, it's about 29 million minutes. 30, let's say 30 million, we round it up. So I want you to understand from a brand perspective, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, that if your content is, so as I'm teaching you right now, right, I'm sharing this with you, someone somewhere is watching one of my videos, it accumulates to about close to 30 million minutes. 30 million minutes of watch time on a monthly basis, right?
Yep. And for those of you who aren't also familiar with some of Sifu's teaching, he talks about the law of consumption.
Yeah.
And the law of consumption is, Sifu believes, and I agree with this, where for every $1,000 you expect a consumer or customer to
do
pay,
business with you,
you would have to build a rapport for an hour. So they would have to consume an hour of
so
your
$1,000, 1 hour.
Yep.
Now that could be a 1 hour video. That could be a 10-minute article that you write. That could be a 30-minute podcast that you produce, or that could be a bunch of like 5-minute, 3-minute video, right? Or it could be one long video in one setting. But I'm generalizing this, obviously. It's not settings, but I believe the theory of consumption, where for every $1,000 you want someone to spend with your company, with your business, buy your products and services, they need to consume at least 1 hour of the content. There lies the problem. Most people, they don't have 1 hour worth of stuff for people to consume anywhere on social media. They got nothing. They got a freaking sales page and an order form, right? There's no relationship being built. That's the first issue. If you want people to spend money with you, if you're selling your services, if you're selling your products, give them value. Like the best way for you to build trust is to add value in advance before you ask for money. Like how many of you, before you join this class, right, spend the $40, $50 buying the ticket, buying the admission, joining this class? Tell me, how many videos of mine you've watched? Rough numbers. How many, or how long you've been following me? 20, right? 50 plus 500 videos, 100 videos, 30 videos, right? Countless videos.
1 year.
Right? 1 year been following me, 4 months, right? Do you see, like right there, right? I'm sure I have some students where this is the first time ever you see what we do and you're joining us, but that's fine between. For most people, they are consuming your content for a long period of time, right? Or for like accumulate a lot of watch time before they would say, hey, I want to spend money with you, right? I want to do business with you. I want to learn more from you. But if you don't have that online, and YouTube is the best way to do this, then how do you get people to do business with you? It's going to be difficult, right? And then we have views, which is 7.1.
And then your average view duration.
Yeah, average views is about 4 minutes-ish, right?
I just want to point out on the top, if you think about how long it's taken us to build our YouTube channel, it took quite a few mistakes. Right?
A lot of mistakes.
If you think about it as Sifu said in the video estate, you have to kind of put yourself out of the mind frame that you are in now. Let's just round. What would 500,000 more views every 48 hours do for your business? Like just take a moment to think.
And sometimes I understand that those numbers maybe it's too huge.
Yep.
right? And maybe for your business, forget the 500,000 views in 40 hours. How about just 5,000? 5,000 views every 40 hours. What would that do to your business? What would that do to the traction, right? What would that do to your sales? Just think about that, right? We didn't get here overnight. And don't look at that as, oh, that's such a number. It could be overwhelming. I mean, I look at that as still overwhelming, right? When I see these numbers, like, because sometimes you look at the numbers, but you think about an average movie is 2 hours long, 2 hours, right? So it's like 120 minutes. When you think of like 30 million minutes on a monthly basis, like that number is so crazy. It is so crazy. And that numbers will probably be 40, 50, or 60 as we grow. It's a crazy number. I get that. But think of the 5,000 views that you get, or 500 views you could get in every 40 hours. What would that do to your channel? What would that do to your impact? What would that do to your income, right? Now, so YouTube Studio, we talked about this, it is free. So you can, that's my first assignment for you, right? After today's class, you go download this app, YouTube Studio, it's free. Linked it, connect it with your YouTube account, and you start looking at these analytics. Write this down. What gets measured gets improved. What gets measured gets improved. You can't improve something you don't measure. How are you going to improve your watch time if you know what your watch time is right now? How going to improve your duration, right? Your average, right? If you don't know what it is now.
And if you're wondering, oh, well, what do I measure in terms of KPIs and KPIs, key performance indicators? We just showed you. It's everything from the previous slide. Measure those. That's what we measure here.
Watch time.
Yep.
Right? Duration. The views we look at a little bit, make sure it's like trending or staying the same, right? But we look at those numbers. But think about how many YouTubers where they just keep making content and creating videos. They never look at analytics. Be honest with me. Those who have YouTube channel, how many of you haven't looked at your analytics? Just keep uploading videos. And you wonder, oh, how come, is it working, it's not working? I don't really know. I look at the views, right? So my first tip, coaching for you is exactly that. Look at your analytics. When you understand how to read numbers, it's like when you want to invest in something, right? You want to invest in a business, you want to buy a stock, you want to look at the financials, you want to look at the numbers. You can't just like, oh, I'm not going to look at numbers. This kind of looks good. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to spend, I'm going to spend money. I'm going to invest in it. No, you got to look at the numbers. You got to do in investing. We call that due diligence, right? You got to know your numbers. And YouTube, when it comes to growth, is actually very, very scientific.
Yep.
I promise you, if you can increase your watch time, your channel will grow.
Yep.
It's that simple. It's scientific. If your watch time is going like this, your views, your subscribers will go like that. There's a direct relationship, very direct relationship. Goes back to, what are the three objectives? What are the three objectives, right? Understand, align yourself with those three objectives of YouTube, and the channel will grow. You got it? Now, this is an example. This is a good, Evan, maybe share that a little bit.
Yeah, so Evan is a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
We do some collaborations and things like that.
And you see some of my videos on Evan's channel.
Yep. So Evan believes a lot in, when he was first starting his channel, he was only uploading, I think, 3 times a week.
Yep.
Then he started every single day. Then he started 2 times a day.
Yep.
And then now he experiments with 3 times a day. Now, if you think about that from a watch time perspective, think about how much content he's putting out there that people are viewing. And his channel, he showed me the analytics one day. It just, like, direct correlation between, hey, I started doing 2 videos a day and this was my spike. Yeah. It was very dramatic.
So what it means goes back to 3 objectives. Stay on the platform as long as possible, watch as many videos as possible. It means that if you can increase the frequency of your upload, your channel will grow. Okay. So how many times are you uploading every single week right now? How many times? Put in the comment. 3,
3,
2, twice a week, one time,
every
2
day.
every day. Yeah. So if you're uploading, let's say 2 times a week, assuming your content is good, that people like to engage with the content, then from 2 days each week, try to experiment three times a week, 4 times a week. We saw a significant jump when we went from 3 or 4 times a week to daily.
Yeah.
Now, the key thing is consistency. It's no good when you just go like intense and say, let's go crazy. I'm going to upload every single day. I'm going to upload 2 times a day. And then you get burnout. And then a week later, it's like, oh, screw this. I'm going to go back to uploading once a week. That is not good.
Yep.
Okay. You have to ask yourself what is doable for you. What are you comfortable with?
What is sustainable before you start to break yourself? And you see it all the time. All the YouTubers burn out. I have no life. Why? Why didn't you check with yourself to make sure that you're okay producing the amount of content that YouTube wants to have?
Yeah.
You have to have that conversation and be very realistic with yourself, because you will get deeply penalized by the YouTube algorithm for changing that over time.
So once you commit, then you commit. So don't go crazy, don't go nuts. If you're uploading like once a week, you want to experiment, let's say upload twice a week.
Yep.
And see and watch it for a few weeks and see how that affects your growth. If you're uploading 2 times, then maybe experiment 3 times, right? Just up the frequency just a little and see what that does to your growth. But when we went from that, like a few times a week to every single day, our growth just went from this. Now, we have experimented a little bit, like twice a day. We experiment a little bit, but my schedule is just so crazy that becomes a challenge when it comes to creating content, because it's funny. Some people might think I'm a fucking like full-time YouTuber because we upload a new video every single day, right? That's not what I do. This is not what I do for a living, okay? Right? I'm still a CEO of a group of companies. That's mainly what we do. So, but for the YouTube, it's a way for me to get my message out there, to impact the world, and also to create a powerful personal brand, right? So that's what we do. So from that perspective, we also make a lot of money from YouTube, don't get me wrong, but that's not the main thing that we do. So one key thing that I have done is, unlike other YouTubers, they build their life around YouTube. I'll say that one more time. Most YouTubers, they build their life around YouTube, right? They sleep and breathe YouTube. I don't, okay? I build YouTube around my life. Not just YouTube, I build social media around my life. I'm just living my life, but I build social media around it because social media is such a powerful tool, right? But I don't live and die like, oh, I'm YouTube. So some people might watch me because I have a lot of followers on YouTube. They think I'm a YouTuber. This is not what I do for a living. You have to understand that. Just because I'm good at it, when people see, because it's easy. Oh, he has 1.5 million subscribers. He must be a YouTuber. Most people, they're very surface level, right? They don't understand. They don't really understand. You with me? But you understand. Yeah. So believe it or not, how many times we film? Would you like to know how many times how much time? Because would you like to know like some of my schedule, right?
Yep.
How I do it. How are we able to upload a piece of content every single day, right?
All right, let's break it down.
Let's break it down.
Some
secret, man.
I didn't know we were going to share this.
Yeah, behind the curtain, behind the scenes.
So a previous, around last year, we were shooting 2 times a week. So usually it would be Wednesday and Friday, we would have our shoot days. Now we're starting to cut down to just Friday being a shoot day. And a lot of the stuff that I also want you guys to think about and implore your thinking on is, what are some actions that you could talk about that don't necessarily require you in the equation, or that you can repurpose or integrate into your life? So something that is a challenge sometimes when working with Sifu is, because he isn't a YouTuber, he is the CEO of multiple businesses, sometimes we have to think about our content in a way where, how can we get content just by going to this event or that event? Or if there's a break in between, can we maybe film a 2-minute thing and then attach that to something else that we're doing? When you're starting to build your channel, if you already have your channel, think of ways that you could have other things in your channel that don't necessarily require you as well. Just like sometimes with Sifu's time, we have to, you know, a video released the other day, Matt's almost done filming, and one of our director of events, Victoria, she just comes up and asks the questions that a student has. And then we just keep the camera rolling instead of breaking and doing something else. And it's that integration with your life.
And a lot of my videos, kind of like this, just one take.
Yep.
I don't do a lot of like this. No, a lot of the videos I don't have a script, anything like that, right? Sometimes you might have an outline, but really it's because I'm just talking about what I do and what I believe in, right? So I just kind of turn on the camera, imagine you're like right there, you're my student, and just talk about, hey, here's what I believe, some of the things that I've learned, here's what I think is important, and we just go with it. So we are very prolific that way. So we film once a day, right? Once a week, once a week. So 1 day per week, and that's it. And we can create so much content out there. And some content, it's through the people I meet, events I go to, we kind of repurpose that, and then we put it on there, right? Yeah, it's about one full day of filming.
Yeah. About 11 a.m. to like 6, 7.
Yeah, so 5, 6 hours, but that gives us enough content. And sometimes when I'm going somewhere, right? We bring the camera while I'm at the back of my car.
So sometimes when we're going to dinner on Fridays, that's when Boss and the Bentley gets filmed.
We just film.
Just repurpose.
That's like a 45-minute drive, and like, okay, I can create a bunch of content. So I very much believe in integration. That's just what I do. So then it makes my life so much easier because I'm not sitting down and saying, oh, I gotta make a video. And no, just what I do. Turn on the camera. Let's talk, right? Let's talk. And I think part of it, that's in some way that's what resonates with people. That it's not so scripted, I guess. It's not so like formal. Off the cuff, kind of do it, right? Yeah. So 1 day shooting for 1 week of content. Yep. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep. So then the rest of the time, it's free up. Like I absolutely do not believe to make a good income as a YouTuber that you need to be, I gotta spend all the time filming and editing and scripting and all that. No. I teach all my students, you shouldn't be editing your own video. You should not be editing your own video, even though if you could do it. You can find someone on Fiverr online and freelancer. There's so many sites that you could go to, right? Your time shouldn't be spending on that. It is crazy. It is stupid to do that, okay? If you want your income to be at a certain level, like when I film something, now, I'll walk you through my process. When I film, what's the process? I film, I do my thing, right? I share, I cut. From there,
gets swooped away.
Walk them through the process. Then what?
So then from there, we log the footage and put it into like this massive kind of Tesseract RAID box thing that we have from the back room. And then from there, we transcode the footage. The footage gets sent to the editors. The editors will start to assemble a rough cut. And then from that rough cut, it'll go into a fine cut stage where we add B-roll, we color grade, we start to add maybe sound effects. Then it'll move to animation. So you see animated points or other graphics that Sifu might want on the video itself. From that point, then it goes into YouTube optimization. And then from there, all the tags, titles, description, links gets optimized. And then you see the video on YouTube.
Yeah, and you, again, some of you might think, oh, Sifu is easy for you. You've got the capital, you've got the team, and all of that. No, I built a fucking team. Okay, so day one, I didn't operate like just a typical YouTuber. And by the way, most YouTubers, they make less than minimum wage. 90, 94, 95% of YouTubers make less than minimum wage. You're better off just go get a job at McDonald's than being a YouTuber, because they operate like a lone wolf. Versus I treat it like a business from day one. I've never edited a single video in my life. I could barely turn on the camera. If you ask me how do I turn on the camera, I actually don't know how to turn on the camera. I don't know where the button is. I have no idea, right? Like you can see the team behind here. We're filming. We've got Jackie here, right? Who's setting up. We've got Matt behind this camera. We've got this camera, and we've got Lindsay on a camera here. So we're creating this, but it's how you operate, right? You cannot get to a six-figure income if you're doing minimum wage work. It is not, oh, see if I make the money, then I'll outsource. Hell fucking no. You outsource first, knowing your worth, then you increase your income. You will never increase your income doing minimum wage work, right? If you wait till once I have the money, then I will do it. It will never happen. You've been trying that for a long time. It doesn't work. It's like saying I would go to the gym when I'm fit. As crazy as that sounds. No, you go to the gym first, then you get fit. You don't wait till I'm rich, then I'll delegate. I'm rich because I delegate. It's the other way around. Not this. So it's not just YouTube, it's how you operate and approach YouTube. And that's the reason why we grow. Right? This is in nephew money. This is like basic 101 like philosophy that I believe in, that I teach. And most people don't get it. They operate like a poor, struggling YouTuber.
Yeah, a lot of successful YouTubers operate like this.
Even the successful ones. I mean, I've met with multiple of them. When I sit down with them, like I'm talking to people with like 500,000, 1 million, 2 million subs, right? I sit down with them. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why the hell are you filming, editing? Like, what's wrong with you, man? Right? And then they see my operation. They're like, teach me.
They see one video.
They're like, teach me. Yeah. Like, they teach me, what do I need to do, right? And they come and I show them how to run it like a business, and they're blown away. They're blown away. And this is not even what I do. This is not my business. This is not even what I do, right? You getting this? You got to approach it like a business. Don't approach it like a hobby. Don't do it from a lone wolf perspective, because you will never grow. That's not the best way you spend your time, right? That's how people got burned out. They film one video, it takes them hours a day to script that, and then takes them 2-3 days to edit all night editing it, right? And then so that they could produce one freaking video, right? One video. So in 1 year, you have 52 videos. How many videos do I have? Put in the chat. How many videos do I have? 1,000. Over 1,000 videos. In really a few years period of time. Why? First of all, we're consistent. And second of all, because of that. The volume, right? And pretty much, and by the way, none of my videos are kind of duplicate. I don't do a lot of that, right? All the time, I'm sharing with you new things. An interesting question I do get from people that, or Sifu, you worry that you run out of stuff to say, right? You run out of stuff to teach, right? 1,000 videos, that's a lot of content, right? Most people don't have enough to say for like, to share, to make like 10 videos or 100 videos, like 1,000 videos. It's a lot of things, right? That's not my concern. That's actually not my problem. What I share on YouTube is like this much. It's like this much. Ask my students. I ask my high-tier closers who are in HTC. Ask my students in DoD. Right? Ask anyone who actually has learned from me for a period of time. Like what I share on social media compared to kind of learning from me like this kind of setting, it is like what's on social media, the 5-10 minute video, when our classes on average is 3-4 hours long, right? It's like a tip of, it's not even, right? So it will not be a problem. I can live until I'm 100 years old. I will not share like everything on YouTube, like on social media. Plus, I'm learning all the time. I'm growing too, right? What I know this year compared to last year, I've grown significantly as a global educator and also as an entrepreneur, that I've grown a lot, because through doing, then I'm growing as well, right? Yeah, Christopher, that's 6-hour classes, right? That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. So watch time is king. So how many minutes your video should be? What we recommend is make your video 10 minutes or longer. 10 minutes or longer. That's kind of the sweet spot. Yep. Why 10 minutes?
So YouTube allows you to insert what's called mid-roll ads when your video is 10 minutes or longer. Mm-hmm. So without it being 10 minutes, you're not able to insert mid-roll ads.
In the middle.
And you could actually select where you want that ad to be. So a little strategy, just a little strategy. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Sifu.
No way.
Little strategy is to insert your mid-roll ad where you're about to give a point of value, right? So let's say you have 7 tips. You might want to insert your mid-roll ad right as you're saying tip number 3, boom, mid-roll ad. But you only get that luxury if your video is 10 minutes or over.
Yeah, goes back to YouTube makes money by having advertisers advertising on your video, right? So when your video is 10 minutes long, YouTube is actually telling you, right? If your video is more than 10 minutes long and if it's good, right, we allow you to insert that mid-roll ad. That tells you, hey, maybe that's a clue that I should make my video more than 10 minutes long. Now, I know that sometimes not every video that you make could be 10 minutes long. A lot of our videos is 5, 6 minutes, yep. 3 minutes, 7 minutes, that's okay. But just knowing that if you could get to that 10 minutes long and it's engaging content, you can insert that mid-roll ad. More revenue for you, but more revenue for YouTube, and YouTube likes it and say, hey, let's give this video some more love. Let's give your channel some more exposure. So 10 minutes, that is kind of the magic number. If you can make it longer, if it's like a 15, 20-minute video and people are still watching that, fantastic. But we're aiming for that 10 minutes.
We have a question here. What if I want to use one of my videos as part of a funnel? Then you could actually choose to disable monetization for that video, because if it is part of, let's say, a funnel or something in a different marketing.
You want to drive them to your business, to your funnel, to your sales page, your opt-in page.
Then it's okay to
That's okay. You can disable it because you probably don't want people to get distracted. Mm-hmm. Like, you probably don't want people watching your video and then they see your competitors ad kind of pop up and then you lose them, right? Yeah. And then when you lose them, they clicking off to your competitor's website. You probably don't want that, right? So stay on the platform, have them click, and just eliminate. I would just turn off the monetization for that particular video. Doesn't study say it's that people attention rate it's only 3 to 5 minutes? It is very true.
Yeah, but on YouTube, so our average kind of attention span, what they're usually referring to in that statistic is kind of our attention span doing kind of anything, right? So on YouTube, people actually put themselves into a different mindset when they go onto the YouTube platform. Yeah. They're there to watch content. They don't go there to be instantly distracted. Like if you're on Instagram, you're just scrolling up.
Same thing
5,
Facebook,
10 seconds,
right? You're scrolling, right?
Just scrolling. But think about how the YouTube platform works. You go into a video,
you search something,
it locks in to your mobile app, and then that's it. It doesn't really show you too much else. So kind of disregard that rule just a little bit. And then you could also tell based on your average view duration where that also lies, right? Mm-hmm. Just because your average view duration is, let's say 50% on a 10-minute video. Yep. So you're getting 5 minutes of average view duration. You don't want to then sometimes start making 5-minute videos and think that you're going to get 100% audience retention. That's not how it works. 100% audience retention, pretty much impossible. It doesn't exist. Yeah. So you have to think about the drop-off rate for your content. If you have a 10-minute video and now you made a 5-minute video and your retention rate, let's say it goes a little higher, 6 minutes, it's still less watch time than a 10-minute video with 50%.
And by the way, I learned this back when I was doing copywriting, and people talk about back then, copywriting, right, with like long sales letter, and people talk about, oh, that's too many words, and people don't read this long letter. In the meantime, we've been marketing and I was working with my mentor, right? His company generating millions and millions of dollars, and people say people don't read this stuff. It's not about the length of the video. It's not about the length of the content. It's about how interesting your content is. Yep. If I always learn from my mentor, he says, if your shit is boring, 1 second is too long, right? If your stuff is good, 1 hour is nothing. By the way, we've just been going on for like 1 hour.
Oh, wow.
We're still on secret 1. How many secrets we have?
9.
We have 9 fucking secrets. We're on secret 1. We're 1 hour in. Time flies.
8-hour class.
How many agree with that? Like, time flies, right? If you're engaging, time flies. But if your stuff is, so focus on making your content great.
And if you think about the audience retention, you have to take some accountability yourself, some extreme ownership, because that's only a reflection of how well you kept them engaged.
Yep.
And I saw a question earlier as well. How long, like how much audience retention?
Yeah.
You want to aim for, YouTube starts to give a lot of love to you if you're over 50%.
Yeah. If
So
you're
aim
over
for that,
50%.
over 50%.
The retention,
audience
50%.
retention.
Yeah. And you can see that from your analytics as well.